What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. One of the hosts of the podcast. My name is Kyle Dabra. So, in this video here, we're going to go over Game 5 that just took place between the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks. So, Game 5 took place back in Milwaukee after the last two games previously took place in Atlanta. And in Game 5, we had the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Atlanta Hawks by the score of 123 to 112. All in all, I thought this was an impressive performance from Milwaukee from beginning to end. And here's the thing about Milwaukee. So we did a prediction video for Game 5 between the Hawks and the Bucks on Thursday morning. And Kevin and I had both made the predictions that we thought Atlanta was the better offensive team simply just because we didn't think that the Bucks were going to be able to generate enough offense to combat against Atlanta's role players. Well, let's just pull up the box score here so you guys have a better understanding what I'm talking about. This is the Bucks side of things. And as you can see, the Bucks showed up. They came to play. You had Brook Lopez, who was essentially the star of the night. Went 14 of 18, scored 33 points, and was pretty much the MVP of this game from beginning to end. And the Hawks had no match for him, whether it was Clint Capella or John Collins. It was a mismatch against Brook Lopez, and he exploited it and took advantage of it to the best of his abilities, and he balled out in this game. Not only did Brook Lopez play extremely well, you had Chris Middleton play very efficient from the field, shot 50% from the field, scoring 26 points, and then you have Drew Holiday drop a 25-point piece here on 9 of 20 shooting. And Bobby Portis, one of the role players for Milwaukee, stepping up in a big way, scoring 22 points on his own. And the one thing that I noticed about the Bucks here in this game was simply this. The Bucks made an effort to attack Atlanta's big men just because I imagine that Mike Budenholzer thought that they had an advantage with Brook Lopez going up against John Collins and Clint Capella, and my God, did it work. Because when you have Brook Lopez shooting basically 75% from the field, and not just dunks. I mean, granted, he had plenty of dunks in this game, but he was hitting mid-range jumpers. He was just knocking shots down left and right. So you have to give Mike Budenholzer a lot of credit for setting up the offense for Milwaukee tonight. They were just unstoppable for the most part. And when I look back at this game, Milwaukee got off to a very hot start. And the most important thing for them was they were able to maintain the lead throughout the entirety of the game. So there was a point in time in the third quarter where Atlanta did get it into the single digits, where they really got it to about a 2 to 3 possession game. But the Bucks were able to stay strong, and they just kind of weathered the storm and pretty much kept this game relatively to a 10 to 15 point lead for themselves, and pretty much kept Atlanta out of the mix here in this game. And the way that I see it going forward, this is what the Bucks are going to need in Game 6 if they want a chance to get to the NBA Finals to go up against the Phoenix Suns. If they get any sort of production in any way, shape, or form similar to this in Game 6, they've got a very good shot of advancing to the NBA Finals and beating the Hawks back in Atlanta in Game 6. Now, with that said, we got to talk a little bit about Atlanta here. I thought Atlanta played okay, but they dug themselves in a hole early, and they really couldn't get themselves out of it. So, I mean, when you look across the board, just the guys that they needed to step up didn't step up. You had Kevin Huerter. He had a relatively pedestrian performance tonight. He shot 3 of 12 from the field, only scored 8 points. You did have Bogdanovich really kind of have a pretty stellar night. He had 28 points and almost shot 50% from the field. But Clint Capella and John Collins, I thought they were going to be bigger pieces for the Hawks in Game 5. They didn't really show out that well. And really the only bench player that played well for the Hawks here with Danilo Gallinari. Kind of similar to what Bogdanovich performed at, shot around 50%. Just in Danilo's case, he scored 19 points. But I was actually surprised at how ineffective they just couldn't knock down shots consistently. So, I mean, the Bucks shot 50% from the field in game 5, and the Hawks shot in the low 40s. So, when you're going on the road in a game 5 situation where essentially the series can go either way at this point, it's just the Hawks weren't able to get out of that hole in the first quarter, and it was pretty much catch up the entire night. And really all the Bucks had to do was essentially just keep their foot on the gas pedal and not really lay off of it too much. And pretty much that's what the Bucks did. So all in all, I thought this was a fantastic performance from the Bucks here. If they really kind of want to ride the momentum here, they could potentially win game 6 if they get any sort of performances like they did with the players they had. If Chris Middleton can drop 26 points consistently throughout the rest of the series, I think it sets them up well. If Brook Lopez has any sort of performance like he had tonight in game 6, I think it sets them up extremely well going into game 6. I'm not going to do a prediction here. It's a little bit early for that. We'll probably put out a prediction video for game 6 this weekend. So definitely kind of stay tuned for that. But all in all, the Bucks showed up here and they proved me wrong because, I thought Atlanta was going to win this game. I thought they were going to carry the momentum that they had from game 4, but Milwaukee stepped up and they played extremely well in this game. So they're set up in the driver's seat right now for game 6, but we'll do a prediction video later this weekend discussing game 6 between the Bucks and the Hawks. But with that said, you guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for me. I just wanted to talk about this game real quick, just to kind of give you guys my analysis from this pivotal game 5 between Milwaukee and Atlanta. And if you guys like the video, like it below, comment, subscribe to the channel. Kevin and I definitely appreciate any sort of support that we can get for the channel. And with that said, you guys, we'll see you guys in a later video later this weekend.